I had it
Nice.
on lock.
How you going?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Good. Um, you at home, I'm assuming?
I am. I'm in bed.
Nice. When did you get back from Bali?
1 o'clock this morning,
Australia time.
Australia time. Yeah,
Oh God, have you slept yet?
I have. I have. Go on Bali time, so it's like it's early. So yeah.
Uh-huh. How long did you sleep for today?
Oh, only like 6 hours.
Right. So you're gonna have to get your body clock back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Uh,
my show is called Coffee Chats. Do you have a coffee or tea or what do you have?
I don't drink coffee or tea.
Don't.
I
What do you drink?
I have a Red Bull.
Oh. Is that what's keeping you awake?
Yeah.
Well, I was actually going to say I normally have a tea, but I've actually got a scotch tonight. My lovely partner bought me a bottle of scotch. So if you're drinking Red Bulls, I'm allowed to drink scotch.
Right. That's it.
Nice. Hey, what were you doing in Bali?
We were shooting. There's a couple of brands we went over to shoot with, so just modeling work, which was fun.
Mm.
Yeah, very fun. It was my first time overseas. It was
Truly,
exciting. Yeah,
first time.
yeah. Mhm.
First international modeling tour.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
How was
yeah.
that?
Amazing. Loved
Exciting?
every. Yes,
Well
so
done.
exciting. Yeah, it's awesome.
Tell me about getting started on a modeling life, or for want of a better word. Like, when did it first kick off?
Um, 2 years ago now. So
Because how old are you now? If you don't mind me asking. I know it's a rude question.
no, I'm 33 in a month.
Uh-huh.
So I'm 30. I'm still 32.
You look about 19, by the way.
Everyone keeps saying that. I don't know if it's a compliment or not.
No, it is
Alright.
very much.
Yeah, so 2 years ago I started just some promo work to bring in some extra money.
Mm.
And I did a few promo jobs, and then I got cast for a couple of modeling jobs, and then I just kept saying yes to everything. People kept asking me to do more, and it just kind of
Just
snowballed.
evolved.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
been
is it what you thought it would be, the whole modeling world?
it is. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Mm.
I take early mornings and late nights doing something I love
Yeah.
over anything. Yeah, I absolutely love it.
What parts do you love about it?
I just love, I don't know, I just love bringing a brand to life. I love that people um, want want me to represent their product. I love that.
Mm.
I love seeing a shoot go from start to finish and seeing the end product of it. I love every minute of it. And
Is
working with
there?
amazing.
Oh, I bet. Um, is there lots of bits that, because obviously we see the finished product, right? We see you looking amazing and wearing the whatever the product is. Is there
Yeah.
bits that we don't get to see that aren't amazing?
I mean, like me getting out of bed at 3 a.m. in the morning, crying, I don't want to get up. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's see that, and yeah, hair and makeup and everything. But no, everything's amazing to me
Mm.
anyway.
Mm.
I love it.
Sure.
Yeah,
Let's have this chat in 10 years. I wonder if
I'll have him. But
you'll look 20 by then. So. Hey, where whereabouts in the wonderful world are you?
Brisbane,
Oh, you're just in Briz. Okay.
I, I am. Yes,
Yeah, nice. Okay. Always been in Briz?
yes, yeah. Grew up here.
Grew up here? Yeah, grew up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Nice. How was school for you? High school? Good times?
No,
No.
I hated school.
Why did you hate
I beg.
school?
I just I don't know. I didn't really fit in anywhere really. I was bullied a lot in high school and primary school, and I just hated it. I was quiet. I was a bit dorky,
Mm.
and I got picked on for that, and I begged my parents from grade 10 to homeschool me. And
Wow.
yeah, they wouldn't, but they bribed me with a trip to England if I finished grade 12. So
But
I didn't get it.
I was going to say, you haven't been overseas, so you didn't get it.
No.
Why? You didn't go to grade 12?
I did go to grade 12, but I fell pregnant with our first baby, and
Uh-huh.
I couldn't go.
Oh, so they still owe you a trip to England?
They do. They gave the trip to my brother.
Oh, what?
They gave my yeah.
See, that he's the favourite. You do know that, don't you? I don't want to dwell too much about the high school stuff, but I'm definitely interested. Why were you getting picked on?
Mm-hmm. I'm just quiet, I think, and just I have different tastes in music to a lot of the kids. I was just kept to myself, really, and people just that.
Got it.
So I'd get picked on. I guess target. So
you didn't fall into one of the groups, so to speak, and you were a unique character, so you stood out a little bit, maybe.
No, I preferred to be the one in the back of the classroom that talked to no one. No one, if you talk, I was quite shy. Didn't like getting called on in class, and I preferred to be at the back of the classroom.
Is that your personality, would you say, Rosie, being a bit shy?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've come out of my shell a lot since I've had and doing the job I do, but I've always been very, which is funny because none of my whole family has been in the media and actors and everything, and they're so out there, and I'm just so opposite. Yeah.
Was that hard then once you started modelling to become a bit more of an extrovert?
It was something that I really wanted, so I did try deep to do it, but once I did it, I wanted to keep going. So I did push myself out of my comfort zone, but once I did that, I loved it and just wanted to keep going.
That confidence snowballed a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Got it. What'd you do out of high school? But obviously, you became a mother early on. What else were you doing?
I was never academic at school. I never knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to model, but that wasn't something that I felt like I could pursue. I did try a little bit after high school, but I just didn't have the confidence to keep doing it. And the other thing I wanted to be was a mother, and I didn't want to go to uni. I didn't know what I wanted to study. I've done half a teaching degree, which I've got. I studied a few like accounting or something, which just wasn't into that. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. Then I met my husband. I was 18, he was 22, and
how'd you guys
he was
meet?
a security guard at the time. He is best friends with my uncle, so he's 5 years older than me, and or 4 years and 11 months or something is what he says. It's not 5.
It's only 4,
But, he and my uncle were trying to get into the federal police, and they used to do their training session and run over to my parents' house, and I would be there, and that's how he took me out for my first time clubbing when I turned 18, and then we hit it off.
Got it. When
we've been together
15 years.
Yeah. 15.
Oh wow! Congratulations. How soon after getting together did you get married?
We had our first baby first. We were together 2 years, and then she came along, and then we got married the year after that. So
got it.
I was 22. Yeah.
Got it. All right, let's talk kids, Rosie, if that's all right.
Sure.
I've done a little bit of research on you, and you've got 4 kids.
I do have 4.
How old are your 4 kids?
Ava is 12. Aston is 9.5. Coco is 8, and Elvie is 5.
Okay. Good good bunch of kids.
Very good.
They all get along
Very
well. Isn't it cool? I've got a nearly 14-year-old boy, and my partner's got 2 girls, or 3 girls, but 2 live with us. One's nearly 11 and one just turned 9. And isn't it cool seeing them and their own little personalities, and you know, you
That's
start to see.
part.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. What was that, sorry?
Seeing what they're going to be like when they're older.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 11-year-old came out tonight. She had some new clothes on and she looked 25. It was a little bit scary. Okay, so 4 kids, you and your hubby. It's a full house. You're there. And what part of Brisbane are you in?
We're in Ipswich.
Okay.
In the Switch.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
But did I read right? You've also had 2 surrogate kids.
Mhm. Yeah, I had twins for a friend of mine.
Can you please explain that situation? How did that all come about?
Well, so I guess.
So to be clear, anyone that's watching this, you've had 6 children.
I have had 6 children. 5 pregnancies, 6 children.
5 pregnancies, 6 children.
Yeah.
Got it.
I guess when Adrian's my husband, that's my husband's name.
Yeah.
He when we got together, we always said, I don't know even how it came up in conversation, but we always said if someone needed our help to have a baby or couldn't have a baby, then we would, I would like to be a surrogate for someone. That just came up one day. And then we'd had three kids already, and our friends were going through IVF and miscarriages and everything, and they couldn't have a baby. And I remember it's my husband's 30th birthday, and I pulled her aside and I just said to her, look, I'm going to have your baby. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to be a surrogate, going to have a baby.
Wow.
And
were you drunk at the time?
No, I wasn't. I was breastfeeding, so I wasn't that.
It's even worse than drunk, yeah.
But yeah, and I just said that to her, and then she said to me, thank you so much, that's amazing, but it's illegal in Queensland, so we couldn't really do it. And
what part of it is illegal?
The whole.
You just can't have child for someone else.
Yeah. I think it was legal in New South Wales, I think. So we were thinking of going down there, but
move there,
it was just because we had 3 kids, and it was just it was complicated. So then they opened us up to the whole world of IVF. Adrian and I obviously we'd been very lucky to be able to conceive naturally, and everything was fine with us. And so we learned about this whole world of IVF and egg donating and everything. So we actually decided to donate my eggs first, to see if she could fall pregnant with my egg and her husband's sperm and everything.
Got it.
I think we went through 3 rounds of egg donation, which means that I take like the injections and everything and then go under, and my eggs are harvested and then put together in a dish and put back in her. And none of those worked, so she didn't get pregnant at all. And then I think it was the July of 2010, surrogacy became legal in Australia, in Queensland.
Wow.
And by August 2010, we were pregnant with the girls.
Within a month of it becoming legal, you were pregnant.
Yeah, so we were the first legal altruistic surrogate in Queensland. So yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is that a known thing? Like, is that the truth? You are the first Queensland.
I think under the legislation, someone already had a baby, and then that was just legalized.
Okay.
Before ours was. So but to twins I was. So yeah.
Wow. When did you know you had twins?
Well, we decided to put 2 embryos back in because I said to her, look, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this again because we want another baby. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know what I'm going to feel at the end of this. I can't tell you that I'm going to do this again. If you want a brother or sister for this baby. And we just said, let's just put 2 back in and see what happens.
Mm.
And I just knew from the start that there was 2.
You just knew?
I just knew. And yeah, there was 2 of them in
Did
there.
you say that to the woman, your friend?
Yes. Yeah.
And what did she think?
She was happy. She wanted to put 2 in. She suggested we put 2 in. So we decided together. It was a joint decision, and then we put 2 back in and everything.
So I'm gonna sound dumb for 30 seconds, which happens a lot, so I don't mind. Is that a guaranteed by putting 2 eggs in? Does that mean?
No, it's just more of a chance that one will take. So
Okay. But what's
if you
happened
put
is they
one back,
both took.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So it wasn't one that 2 embryos took, and they were, I don't know what that's called. What's that called? Not identical. The other one, unidentical.
Unidentical. Yeah. So when did she and her husband realize it was twins, and what was their response?
Okay. I think my hormone levels came back quite high, and then they were just so happy that there was even one of them in there. That 2 of them was just a bonus.
Wow, that would have been ecstatic.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Like, as you say, early on, you realised, or you just had that gut feeling it was twins. But
yeah.
were you like, oh shit, I didn't sign up for this? Like, I was happy to do 1, but I don't want to do 2.
No, I loved every second of it. Wow. It was great. I just wanted to help, and I did it for that reason. So it was meant to be 2. There was 2. So I was very sick, but other than that, it was great.
What happens when you give birth to twins, knowing full well that they're not your kids?
Well, from the start, you go into the whole thing knowing that they're not yours, knowing that you're not blood related or anything like that. That my job was to carry them and get them here safely, and I knew that from the start. I went into it knowing that. So people always ask me, was it hard giving the babies away? But to me and my husband, we didn't give any babies away. They weren't ours to begin with. It was we were doing help somebody, and that's what both of us just wanted to help, and that's why we chose to do it. And I remember I went into labour at 28 weeks with them, and I had to be in hospital for I think 3 weeks trying to keep them in because they wanted to come out. And then when we were home, I got home for a week and then went into labour at 33. I couldn't stop it, so we ended up having an emergency cesarean.
Wow.
And I remember my husband called them and said,
because that's pretty early, right?
Yeah, that's 7 weeks early, I think.
Yeah.
And I felt guilty that I couldn't keep them in any longer. But my body was just done. It's like they need to come out. And remember, we called them in because we went up to the hospital. We called them in saying, no, it's time. You're gonna become parents. And they came in, and my friend was in the delivery room, and my husband was in the delivery room with me. And yeah, and then they came out, and
wow,
they were there, and yeah, it was amazing.
What an amazing story. Would your husband have the similar response if I asked him the question of, in regards to having kids for someone else?
Yeah. We both. It was a joint decision that we made together. It wasn't me going to him saying, I'm going to do this. You can either be here or not. We both both wanted to help them. We both were on the same page. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done it.
You wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that 9 months is, you know, he's a big part of that journey, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it without like my rock through the whole thing.
I bet.
And he was amazing.
I bet he was. Is having twins, I'll use the word different. Is having twins different than having one baby?
Not really.
No?
I mean, it was my first cesarean, so I hadn't had a cesarean before. So that was different. But I wouldn't say it was worse or better or anything. It was different.
Just different.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long after the twins did you have your fourth child?
Well, after the twins were born, I developed an infection in my uterus, and I was in hospital for a little while trying to get that under control. And I ended up going back to my gynecologist, who was the fertility specialist who got us pregnant with the twins. And I was really sick, and nothing was like I wasn't getting better. So he did an operation on me and found placenta and everything still left in my uterus.
Okay.
And he said, and I had an infection in there, and he said, you know, if you want to have another baby, I would advise you do it quite soon, because you've got a lot of scarring on your uterus and everything. So we actually did IUI, which is not IVF. It's a little bit different. So I still get the injections, and then I don't know how to explain this without going into
too much detail.
Yeah, it's fishies and everything going in me anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
And so then our fourth was conceived, and then
how long after?
She came. Girls were born March, and we were pregnant August, and then she came exactly 2 weeks after, a year after they were born. So the girls were a year old when we had our fourth.
A year.
I think. Yeah. So
wow.
4.5 months after the girls were born, we were pregnant with our fourth.
So you just have like a super baby body.
I had, yeah.
You had. Those days are gone.
Yeah. So after our fourth one,
yeah.
I got like the infection came back, and I got quite sick again, and
got it.
I had to have a hysterectomy and spent 3 months in hospital. Nearly died, and
wow.
Everything like so. Yeah, it was quite a big traumatic thing.
I bet it was. Yeah.
We're all good now. So.
How old's your youngest now?
She's 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no plans for any more then, obviously.
Well, no, we can't have any more.
Those
I think
days
we would have. Yeah, I think we would have gone 5, but I think something was out there saying, "No, you're done.
Yeah,
that's enough." I would have been a surrogate. I would have loved to have been a surrogate for someone else. Again, yeah, I would have loved to have done that. So.
Rosie, there's going to be lots of people watching this, especially females, more specifically mothers, that look at you and say, how the hell has she had 6 children? That's a compliment, by the way. I'm not normally good at compliments. But my question is, how do you still look so good after so many kids?
You know, it's funny. I wrote a blog last week about body after baby, because I've done a lot of interviews and I get this question all the time. And
I bet.
And it makes me feel like uncomfortable, because I feel like it puts a lot of pressure on women and mothers, and an unrealistic pressure on them to get back to having what they would look like after babies. And I feel like, I mean, I put 35 kilos on with our third baby. I was like bigger than my husband, and you know, the weight eventually falls off, and I just don't want people to put pressure on themselves to get back to where they were, because it's just unrealistic. And I think like social media and in the industry that I work in, it's just, there's so much unrealistic things out there that it just makes it seem like something that's not, I don't know, it's not real. I mean, I've got I've been sent away from jobs because my stomach I've had over like 20 surgeries since having the twins, and like I'm not unscarred. I have stretch marks on my stomach, you know. Brands have said, no, we can't work with you because of, you know, you've got a few stretch marks. Other brands don't even care. They're like, oh yeah, great, whatever, we'll edit the photos. Like, it doesn't matter. But I just feel like I don't want people to think that I'm this person that's perfect, because I'm absolutely not. And my kids are older as well. My oldest is 12, my youngest is 5. They're all at school. So now I have time to do things for myself. So I'll run, I'll do Pilates, and I box. I love to do that. And that's my me time. That's my way of doing things for myself. And if that's not what people want to do, if they want to sit on the couch eat chocolate and watch TV with their husbands like every night, go for it. Like, whatever makes you happy, you need to do. But the industry that I choose to be in, I have to the best I can look, and so I choose to you know, work out, which is, I guess, yeah, part of.
And you enjoy it, right?
And I love it. I do.
You love it.
I love it. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. So.
Exactly.
But it's not for everyone.
Got it. And there's, you know, this is my soapbox now. There's consequences for everything. So if you want to sit with your husband and eat chocolate and watch MasterChef or whatever shit's on TV, that's fine. But there's going to be consequences to that. Much the same as going boxing and eating well and, you know, Pilates and whatever else. Well, your body's going to go down a different road. So it's just a result of the choices you make, right?
Right.
Got it.
And as long as you're happy, it doesn't matter.
Sure. In saying that, though, let me put the knife in a bit more in regards to this question. You work in an industry that's based on, you know, looking amazing, and your photos do look amazing. And sure, I'm assuming there's some degree of Photoshop, but looking at you tonight, I don't think there's too much Photoshop going on. So where do you sit in regards to the average housewife out there that maybe does sit on the couch and eat chocolate and watch whatever with their husband, looking at a photo of you in, you know, activewear or bikini or whatever, and them saying, I'm never going to look like that?
Well, if you want to look like that, take the first step into doing something about it. And if that's what you really want, then you make it happen. Just little steps in the right direction is all it takes to start and achieve what you want to achieve. I mean, I put on 35 kilos.
Yeah, that's massive, right?
I sat on the couch with my husband.
With the husband and ate the chocolate.
That's what I want to do.
Got it.
You know, I had, you know, it's just, I think it's society judging you for how your body chooses to have a baby and how it does that. I just think that's unacceptable. I think every woman is beautiful, and
100%.
if you're, you know, social media is I think, I mean, it just puts pressure on people that you have to look like.
And I guess that's my question. Let me be rude and jump in, because that's kind of my point. And I'm not directing this at you. I'm directing this at a collective industry or lots of industries. And I would really just like your opinion on it. I've owned gyms and I've trained lots of women, and they've lost, like you have, 20, 30 kilos, but they still haven't looked like you at the end. So in the industry that you're in,
Yeah.
How are you confident that what you're doing is still painting a positive picture for females on a larger degree? Because I think you are, by the way. I think you are, by the way. I'm just interested to know your view on it.
I post my pictures on Instagram because I want to inspire women to step out of their comfort zone and achieve their goals and I'm coming from a place more of the fact that I'm 32. I have had 6 babies. I've got nearly everything against me in this industry right now. And I'm still trying to make it work. I'm still putting one foot in front of the other. I'm still achieving what I want to achieve. And that's the place I'm coming from. I want to inspire the women to do that, no matter what age you are, no matter what you look like. If you want something and you really want something, write your goals down, put one foot in front of the other, and do it, because you can do it no matter what. I'm giving proof that you can do it.
I like that. What do you mean by you've got everything going against you in this industry? What does that mean?
Well, my age, for one. I'm 32. Modelling agencies, they don't want.
You're like a grandmother,
mature.
Right?
I am.
You're ancient.
I'm like at the end of my career.
Do they pull out a wheelchair for you so you can get her?
Walking stick, that's it. I am at the end. I should be at the end of my career as a model, and I'm just starting. And like.
But who says, right? Like, why can't that be? Exactly. You could just be starting, yeah.
Exactly, and that's what I want to prove, that I can start this at 30 and I can be successful at it, and no one's going to tell me that I can't. And I've had 6 babies. I've got stretch marks on my stomach, but why does that? I remember watching Tyra Banks said when she was younger and she was modeling, she said, we all have flaws, we just need to learn how to use our flaws and how to work our flaws. And hers was her butt and mine's my stomach. I've just got to, posing is I guess an art that form, I guess. Like, lighting makes a huge difference. It's not me looking perfect. There's a whole bunch of things that come together to make it work.
And why would you want to, when that stomach shows 6 amazing lives that have it's a result of 6 amazing lives.
Exactly. And women should know that. Women should see that I've still had 6 babies. I still have scars on my stomach, but I'm still making this work, and I'm still doing something that I want to do, and it's not going to stop me. Yeah.
That's great. Well said. Rosie, let's fast forward to you writing your book. Now, the book, do you have a copy close by?
I do.
She does. Can you bring it close? To your left a little bit? That's it. I like it. A Girl's Guide to Puberty.
Yeah.
What is a tweenager?
A tweenager is between 9 and 12. 9 and 13. So they're not teens, they're little tweens.
Got it.
So yeah, 9 and
do you want to sort that out?
Coco, what's wrong? You can go out there. Yeah, just close the door behind you, my love. Good girl. Sorry.
That's all right. Good timing.
Yeah. Yeah, so 9 to 12-year-olds are tween.
And why? I mean, I think it's such a great book. Why author such a book?
Well, I did. I've done 2 more other books which I co-authored about IVF and kids' books on how to make a baby, and explaining the birds and the bees to young kids. And
you did? I didn't realise that. I didn't research deep enough. Have you got those close by? Oh, wow. Bring them up to the
The
screen.
first one. This is called an IVF story. This is our first book, and it's just like from a kid's point of view on IVF and how IVF works.
Wow.
And then this one is the second book, and it's just how to make a baby in the 21st century. So it's got surrogacy and donor eggs, and every way you can make a baby.
Wow.
Not just the.
I think I need to read that. I need to sit down with that book. That's really, really impressive. What's been the response of those?
Yeah, like people, like it's hard to find books for kids on.
Yeah, I bet.
That explain, how to make a baby, and it's I guess kind of lifting the taboo a bit about IVF and all of that world and surrogacy and everything.
Did you self-publish, or did you get a publisher to do it?
We self-published those two, and then this one's my first one by myself. So I co-authored the other two, and then this one.
Wow.
Is all me.
Why jump to the tween ages? What was the reason for that?
My eldest is 12 and going through all things puberty, and asking lots of questions about it, and also I've got quite a big social media following on Instagram, and there's a lot of teenage girls or tweenage girls that would contact me on private message and ask for advice and ask questions and tell me their things that happened to them at school and what I would do if I was them. And there's just a lot of questions that I thought, I want to help. I'm going to write a book about it. So
that's so awesome. What does your daughter think of the book?
She actually helped me a lot with writing it. She was answering a lot of my questions, asking a lot of the questions in the book, and we kind of worked it out together, I guess. So she's read it more than once, doesn't want to read it anymore.
Oh, why not? She's read it enough.
She knows she's a pro now, apparently.
Yeah. That's so cool. What sort of response have you had from the book?
So I released it about a month ago, and it's
so it's really fresh.
Well. Yeah, really fresh. I've had a couple of radio interviews and social media interviews and everything, articles, newspaper articles and everything go up. So I've had a good response. It's been really good. People found it, like a lot of the people I spoke to as I was writing the book, they were struggling to find a book that was aimed at 9 to 12-year-olds, because there's a lot of books out there that explain sex and drugs and puberty and everything that's happening, whereas like my daughter's 12 and she's going through it, and I think it's happening as kids are getting younger and younger, and I don't want her reading about sex and drugs right now. It's such an overwhelming time. I just wanted a book that focused on what was happening to her body now. And yeah.
Besides the physical changes, what else goes on for both boys and girls in those years?
Well, this one's just for girls. I haven't got to the boys. My son's only 9, so you've
got that to look forward to. Okay, for girls.
Yeah, there's like the emotional changes. There's social media. There's bullying at school. My daughter's went through that. There's all that stuff. I put embarrassing stories in there. I found like that humor was a good way to go about it, so it's not so overwhelming and not so frightening. So I put a little humor into the book, and then I asked a lot of my girlfriends about quotes that they've grown up with, that they live their life by, and I put them in there. I just want to inspire them and give them a safe place to go and read about what's happening, really.
That's great. Did you initially, and I know that your daughter helped you do the research and whatnot, but did you initially read it with your daughter?
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Is that the idea of the book, that they read it with their mum or dad?
No, I did it so they could read it by themselves.
Okay.
It's a safe book that I found that I thought if they could read it themselves, then that you know, if they have questions, then they can go to their parents about it. But if they're not comfortable going with their parents to their parents about it, there's information in there that they learn themselves, so they don't need. Some girls are quite embarrassed to talk to their parents about stuff. So I made it from my point of view. It's my experiences, and yeah.
And vice versa too, right? Like I'll put my hand up, as a father to a 13-year-old, nearly 14-year-old son, it's not a, it's a nerve-wracking conversation. And I had that conversation, you know, sometime in the not too distant past. And you know, it was an uncomfortable conversation. And me and my boy are close, right? We joke about stuff and always giving each other a hard time. So we have a pretty good relationship. But to talk about sex and puberty and, you know, things like safe sex and condoms and things like that with a 13-year-old, he doesn't necessarily want his old dad to be talking to him about this, and I don't necessarily want to be having the conversation either. But I think my dad was from the old school, and we never had a conversation like that. In fact, what I remember of being 13 was, and no disrespect to your book or anyone's books, but he just gave me a book and said, read that. And that was it. That was my birds and the bees story from my old man, right? So I always remembered that, obviously, but I also said, I always thought to myself, I'm going to make sure I have a better conversation with my son than my dad did with me. Yeah. And I'm proud that I had that conversation. It could have been better. But I think something like your book and me reading that, as well as having a face-to-face with my son, would be ideal. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And the book is a conversation starter, so it gets the conversation starting between parent and child. And I think my oldest is really open about everything. She will talk to me about everything, and I think that's part of the reason I wanted to do the book, because she isn't afraid to talk to me about things, and I love that, and I love that we have relationship. And I think like I've heard heaps of people who's they struggle to talk to their daughters about. I mean, I don't even remember having the talk with my mum, and I was always so naive about everything. I never really cared. I never really wanted to know about it. But my eldest she has so many questions about it, and didn't want to give her the wrong information, and I wanted her to feel comfortable about it, and I wanted her to know that it's normal and everything that she's experiencing is normal, and that it's okay, and everything's going to be fine. So
did you have a similar relationship, or do you have a similar relationship with your mum as you do with your daughter, teenage daughter?
Yeah, I mean, I talk to my mum about pretty much everything, and my dad too. I do have that relationship with my dad as well, which our oldest has with my husband, which is good. But I think I just didn't. I was just so naive. I don't remember having that comment, not from lack of her not giving me information or anything. It was just something that I never talked about, or I never went to her about. I learned about it in health class, and I was like, you know, what the hell? I don't really care. Don't talk about it. And whereas my eldest is complete opposite. He wants to know every single detail about everything.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess it came from, yeah.
When you say you don't care, don't talk about it, do you think all the girls your age were at that point, or were you a little bit different than other girls?
I think I was quite a late bloomer, really. I remember them all talking about it and, you know, getting their period and all that stuff. Then I wasn't. I got mine quite late, so I wasn't really in that clique. I didn't really care.
Got it.
So yeah, I was a bit different in that way.
Okay. Someone watching this, let's say a mother with someone like the age of your daughter that is struggling with this conversation and thinking of having this conversation because it is an important one. What would your advice be to the mum or even the dad who is about to have this conversation?
Just, I would say truth is the best way to go about it. Don't try and hide anything. Don't, like, I found there's ways that they try to ask questions without asking the question. So just, you need to listen to what they're saying and listen to what they're asking you, and respond with the truth, really. Don't, as much as it's embarrassing, it's actually not that. Once you get started, it's not embarrassing at all. It's quite a, and it at the end of the conversation, the conversation doesn't end. There's always questions. There's always something that's going to be asked. And if they know that they can come to you and ask you anything, and that's what you want. You want them to be able to open up to you. And I think if getting that trust is really important. So they're going to trust that you're going to tell them the right answer, and you're not going to make it embarrassing for them. You're just going to give them the facts and not, get embarrassed about the conversation.
Is there, like you say, honesty and give the facts, and I think that's great advice, but is there some stuff that as parents we should hold back from?
Well, my daughter, she's 12. I'm not going to go and talk to her about drugs and sex right now. I don't think that's appropriate for her to know right now. She's not in high school yet. She's not, yes, she's at the time where she's going through puberty, but puberty is a lot different to having sex.
Sure.
And I just find that completely different things that I don't want her dealing with that right now. I just want her to be comfortable and get comfortable in herself before we go and talk about all of that. So it's overwhelming.
It really is. It's an overwhelming couple of years, right?
Yeah. And so just being there for them and answering their questions is really, I think, the most important thing.
I know a lot of what I'm asking you is very relative to each family. What the relationship you and your daughter have, even the relationship your husband and your daughter have is going to be very different, right? And me and my son and anyone else listening and their kids, it's all going to be different. Every teenager's at a different stage. Some, as you said, develop sooner than others. Maybe that's a big part of it too. Like a lot of the time we know our kids better than anyone else too. And I was having a conversation with a guy last night, and he runs an organisation called 3 Words, and it's all about depression and anxiety and stuff like that. But the 3 words are I need help, and it's just all about listening. And I guess I'm rambling a bit, but my point is it's about listening to your kids, isn't it?
Absolutely. And when they're anxious about something, they don't necessarily come and ask the question that they want the answer to. They'll ask it subtly, and they'll I just find it, if you're really listening to what they're saying to you and responding to what they're actually asking, it's a lot different to, I can't even think of an example right now.
Well, I've got one, right? So my son will ring, and I live 2 hours away from my son at the moment, so he'll ring me at times, and he'll ring sometimes and not say anything, just ring up, and I'll say, Noah, are you there? And he's like, yeah, I'm here, and not say anything. And I know full well he really wants to say something, but I'll just be with him in that moment, right? And I think, my father and I would have never had that conversation at all. But I know that even just being on the other end of the line for my boy is enough. And he might not say what he thinks that phone call, but the next phone call he might.
Exactly. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I remember Ava, my daughter, her name's Ava. She was in a bad mood about something. She was just a terrible 12-year-old. She was mean and awful, and I was down on myself that I was a bad parent because she's screaming at me that I'm the worst mum in the world.
Yeah.
And, stuff. And then she stormed away to her bedroom and shut the door. And I was like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. And you know what I did? I went and got a block of my chocolate. I have dark chocolate that I keep up on top of the shelf. No one else can touch. So I went and broke off a square of dark chocolate. I went into the room, and I just handed her the piece of chocolate. And I said, you know that me giving you this piece of chocolate means something, because I don't let anyone have my chocolate. I gave her the piece of chocolate, and I left the room. And about 20 minutes later, she came out. She sat with me on the couch. We just sat there. She didn't say anything. But I knew that was, her
That's
way.
massive, right?
Yeah, it's huge. And she, I didn't get angry at her. I didn't scream at her. Just gave her a piece of chocolate.
That's great. I've really learned that, the parent that I am as now that my son's 13 versus the parent I was when my son was 3, for example, a big part I think where I've changed is just in regards to having more patience. And anyone that knows me might say, oh, well, you only see your son, on weekends and stuff like that. So it's easy to have patience. but I even notice that with my partner's kids, and I'm with them every single day, every single night. And I know who I was 10 years ago and who I am now. And it's just having empathy for them. And they're going through their own stuff, just like parents are going through their own stuff. I think a lot of parents, or at least the me parent who I was 10 years ago, it was all about me, don't get in my way. Don't talk to me when I'm busy. And, kids get busy. Kids have stuff going on.
Yeah.
I think a lot of parents, or at least I'll speak for myself, I didn't take that into consideration until, the last couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I was saying to my husband the other day, when I found it a lot easier when they were little, because it was all routine, how I wanted the day to go. It was sleep time here, had them all sleeping through at 8 weeks, had them on this, the sleep time here, feeding here, everything. It was easy. And then when they start school and they start becoming their own person, and they start being interested in different things, and it's all trying to balance all of that together, and then them, homework, and then being in a bad mood, and because they can't do this, I find that a lot harder.
Exactly. And also there's different influences. No longer is mum and dad the only voices that they listen to. There's friends, there's teachers, there's TV, there's social media, it's scary.
Absolutely.
It's scary.
It is scary. But I think if you have that good relationship with them, and they know that they can come to you, I think that's big point of surviving the whole thing, which I haven't done yet. I'm only just starting the teenage years.
And that's that word surviving, I think, and not in the literal sense, like obviously physically we're doing okay, but I think just getting through those years. But a lot of people are just getting through life even as a fully functioning adult, so there's no surprises that in those ages, and fast forwarding a little bit older than your oldest daughter, from maybe 15 to 19, that's really tough for a kid. You're not quite sure where you fit in. You're a bit scared about the future. You're no longer a kid. Like, I think there's another book for you to write yet, Rosie.
That's what I'm trying to do. I want to give her as much information as I can now, so that she's knows a little bit as she keeps going along. She's got as much as she can have, and hopefully that'll help somehow.
100%.
Yeah.
What's the next 5 years for you and the fam? Do you hate that question?
I would like to write down where I want to be, but I just get so, I don't know. I mean, there's so many different aspects of everything. I just like my kids to be happy. I want to be happy. I want us all to be happy. And yeah, that's basically, if I can keep doing modeling, keep doing what I'm doing, that would be amazing.
How do you go time-wise? 4 kids, modeling, you know, trying to be a good wife, a good mum, and also be amazingly gorgeous on the beach in a bikini. Like, how do you fit all that in?
I don't know. I just do it. I mean, you know, as a parent, you just get up and you do it. There's no choice. You've got no choice. You've got to get up and you've got to make lunches and you've got to be out the door by 8 o'clock, be dressed, and you've got to be showered, and, you know, you just make it work, I guess. And
how'd the kids go when you were in Bali?
They were fine. They were absolutely fine. Which I'm a bit upset about. No.
Yeah. How dare you get by without me?
I know. How dare my husband? No. The thing is, though, when I was in hospital for those 3 months, and he had the 3 kids and a newborn baby, I walked into the house the day I got out of hospital, and everything had changed. Like, he's like super dad. He has the washing done. He has the, you know, he cooks really meals. He does lunches. He does everything. Like, he's full on super dad. And then I felt completely inadequate. I'm like, what am I? You don't even need me anymore. I'm like null and void. And so it took me a while to like get back into the swing of things. And then when I left, I was so scared I was going to come back and they'd be like, no, dad cuts his sandwiches without the crust on. Crust on, mum, you know, blah, 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 blah. This way, what are you doing? And it's only been 5 days. So I was a bit nervous about that, but you know.
I'm sure they were all very happy when you came back.
Yeah, well, they liked their presents, so I'm guessing they just wanted presents, really. But yeah.
What do you do? I know there's not a lot of time to yourself, but what do you like to do when you do have 5 minutes to yourself?
I do like to exercise, so I will like walk on the treadmill or do a Pilates class like that. But I love to write, so I blog and I just love to write. So I do that when I'm in my spare time.
What sort of stuff do you blog about?
Just life in general, really.
Getting stuff out of your head.
Yeah, I really enjoy that. So I'd maybe like to write a novel one day. We'll see.
Nice. What would the novel be about?
I don't know. Ava's asked me to write her a book for years, and I'm like, oh, I just don't know where I'd start. I don't know. I have to think about it.
Do you ever have days? This is for me and anyone else that's watching this. Do you ever have days where you just want to eat?
Crawl in a hole and die?
What's that?
Crawl in a hole and die?
Crawl in a hole. I wasn't going to that extremes. I was going to say just a whole day where you sit on the couch, eat chocolate, you know, and just eat chips and watch Game of Thrones and just do nothing.
Absolutely. I
really?
do. And then, but when you do it, I just feel so guilty. Like, there's so much other stuff that I need to get done. Like in Bali, we were just working the whole time, and like if we sat down to enjoy lunch, I'd feel so guilty. I'm like, no, I've got things I need to do. I can't sit still. It's like a yoga class. I'm not a yoga person. I cannot do yoga. I will sit there and go, there's too much stuff in my head. I can't feng shui or whatever. I don't know what it's called. Downward dog, whatever. So I would love to sit on the couch for a day, but I don't think I could do it.
Couldn't do it.
No. I couldn't do it.
What's your hubby do?
He is a fireman.
Is he?
He is, yes.
Wow. Has he been in one of those fireman calendars?
No, he hasn't.
Should he be?
Yes.
You think he should? It needs to make you a fireman calendar.
Yeah, that's right. He does. He does.
How long's he been a fiery for?
It's coming up 2 years
Oh,
now.
wow. So just recently.
Yeah, yeah.
He enjoys it?
Loves it. Loves it. Best job in the world, he says.
Yeah, I bet. So
Yeah.
you're doing all the stuff you're doing. He's a full-time fiery, 4 kids. Do you guys ever get a chance to just, have a romantic dinner or do your own things?
We literally live in like the smallest house in the world. Like
In Ipswich, yeah.
yeah, have one bathroom, and my 8-year-old's room is right next to our, like the door intertwines to our room.
Yeah.
So like, they're all at school now. So and he has like he'll do 2-day shifts tonight, and then he gets 4 days off in a row.
Mm.
So his roster's really good. So we do get time. We went and saw Dunkirk today together.
Is that good?
Oh my God, loved it.
I'm
Huge
thinking
Harry
of
Styles.
seeing that.
I love Harry Styles. So
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I wish I'd known that before. I wouldn't have interviewed you. See, you are 19. I was right the first time.
Maybe. No.
It's good, hey? It's a good movie?
Good movie.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But that was the first date at ages.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good for you. Where'd the kids go? School?
Cool.
Should just you did pick them up this afternoon though, right? They're not still
Here we go.
not still there. Hey, if anyone isn't following you on Instagram or Facebook, how can they start to follow your stuff?
My Instagram is just at Rosie_Luik, which is Luik, and my Facebook's just Rosie Luik. And then my website's www.rosieluik.com.
Surprise, surprise. What's on your website? I didn't have a look at that.
You didn't have a look at my website?
No, I got enough off Facebook and Insta and
Google. It's just my blogs and my books. You can get all my books off my website. And just my radio interviews I've done and everything like that. It's all up there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, and people can read your blogs and stuff on the website.
Yep. Yeah. Or on Instagram, there's a link in there as well. So
yeah.
If I'm interesting enough.
Oh, from our chat, if anyone doesn't think you're interesting, then I'm not sure what's quite wrong with them, unless they like Harry Styles. But we won't go into that.
No one's going to follow me now.
They're all going to go on your site and say, "I love Harry Styles too."
There's like 10 books of Harry Styles on my bookshelf that you can't even see, but I purposely moved the camera so you can see it.
No, that's good. He looks like Mick Jagger, so I'll give him a point for that.
Okay.
Hey, Rosie, it's been fantastic chatting to you. You feel all right? Feel good?
I'm good, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice one. I'll see you on Facey.
Okay.
All the best.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.